Hello everyone, Kasim Khan is here. Please subscribe my channel and press bell button for more updates. So guys, today we are here to learn about what is the goal of the firm. That is very important concept in the finance and the business and the corporation as well. So because goal is with the good goal, you decide about the directions of the company, what should be the operations of the company, and what kind of decisions the company will take to pursue to achieve that goal. So maximization of shareholder wealth, that is a very and the most common and attractive goal nowadays in the corporation, and every like management, every shareholder wish this goal should be set by the organization. Why this goal is very common and very important, and why the profit maximization, that was a very historical goal of the business, why that is not like common nowadays. So we will in this lecture we will learn about different benefits and the shortcomings of the organization goal which has been set by the top management. So maximization of shareholder wealth. Here we define it. Shareholder wealth is represented by the market price per share of the firm common stock, which in turn is a reflection of the firm investment, financing, and asset management decisions. Share price is a very good indicator of firm performance. If the firm have a good share price and it is increasing over the time period, it means corporations and the firm are taking a very good decisions. That's why their firm price is increasing in the stock market. If obviously some news also affect the share prices, and if the company have some good opportunity growth opportunities and company is taking a good investments, obviously it affect positivity on the company share price. And if the company share price have a positive trend over the time period, it indicates company is growing and the performance of the company is very good. So value creation goal is also associated with the wealth maximization, because value creation occurs when we maximize the share price for current shareholder. Obviously, most of the time, shareholder invest in the company on the basis of share price and the trends of the share price. So, if your share price is in very positive trend and it is increasing over the time period, it will give benefit to the shareholder, and it means company is growing over the time period and company is generating the value. So when this it means company is growing over the time period, and your shareholder will be happy and they will be interested to invest in the future as well. So share price is a big indicator to analyze about the firm performance, and wealth maximization a goal is also considering the value creation. So there are some shortcomings of the other alternative perspective, that is profit maximization. Profit maximization was a very big and the main goal of the or every organization before 2000, and it was this goal have enjoyed. This goal was considered over the many centuries, and every business the first goal is profit maximization. But why it is not now considered now a good goal? Maximizing a firm earning after taxes, like this goal agenda is maximizing a firm earnings after taxes. To achieve this goal, the financial manager would take only those actions that were expected to make a major contribution to the firm overall profits. For each alternative being considered, the financial manager would select the one that is expected to result the highest monetary return. Obviously, in this goal, most of the time manager takes only short-term decisions that which increase their profit, but ultimately they will harm the organization in long terms. Most of the time, top management compensation plans associated with the profits of the company. If they will generate a good profit, ultimately their salaries, their compensation plan will be increase. And if they give a losses to the organization, maybe their job is also on high risk. So they only take short-term decisions who increase the company performance in terms of profit, and which increase the um, manager performance as well. but they are just considering the monetary current monetary position. They are not looking the future investment opportunities. What should be the future goal of the company? If we are taking this decisions, what are the negative impact of this decision on the long term performance of the company? They are just considering the current cash volume, how we can increase the current cash volume. Sometimes they take high risk decisions to increase the current bunch of cash that ultimately affect the firm negatively in longer term. So that's why this goal is not most attractive in the industry, but there are some other limitations that we learned here. What are the problem with this goal? Could increase current profit while harming firm defer maintenance. Maintenance are the payments, and when you take these kinds of decisions, that ultimately your cash outflow will increase, that your payments will increase, that decrease your current volume of cash. So when the organization have this goal, they will defer the maintenance, they will delay the maintenance, that ultimately affect the quality of the company. Like they will maybe affect negatively your assets and so many things as well. They issue common stock to buy T-bills. They just increase their current volume of like cash. They just to increase their current asset. They issue the common stock and they increase their current value. When they will increase the, they will issue the common stock. Obviously, your share volume will increase in your market. That ultimately negatively affect your share price. Your share price will decline, but they have no concern with share price. They have just to increase the current volume of cash. Then they want to maximize the current profit. So they will not consider the long-term effect of their decisions on the company. So ignore changes in the risk level of the firm. So because they are just considering the cash and they will not consider what kinds of the risk are associated with this decisions. So they just ignore all kinds of the risk which are associated with the short term decisions. So earning per share maximization earning after taxes divided by shares outstanding. So this way we calculate earning per share, where we like share we divide the profit with the total shares outstanding. So they are just interested with to increase this earning per share. But what are the problems with this goal? Earning per share that come under the profit maximization does not specify the timings or the durations of expected return. We will look this issue in the next slide by calculating a problem. So where we can understand what are the issue with the this timing or the duration of expected return. Ignore changes in the risk level of the firm. Obviously, they are just increasing the earning per share, they are just increasing the profit. They have no concern with the other long term opportunities. They are delaying their maintenance, they are issuing more stocks, they are like increasing the cash volume by hook and crook. So they don't consider the risk which are associated with the decisions. Sometimes to increase the high volume of profit, they take many risky decisions that ultimately become a reason to collapse your organization. So that's why this is not attractive goal. Greater EPS does not necessarily mean that DPS will increase. Greater EPS earning per share, DPS dividend per share. Obviously, most of the time people consider the EPS and they invest in the company, but it does not mean when organization will have a high earning per share, it will also increase their dividend per share as well. This is just a misconception because they are interested to just keep the cash in the company accounts to show maximum profit. So they don't. Dividend is just cash outflow from the company. So they don't like to give dividend. So it does not mean when you have a high EPS, your DPS will increase. So this is a misconception by the shareholder, and most of the time they invest in the company just because on the basis of EPS, but they don't get the DPS. Your dividend policy will not be decided on the basis of your earning per share. So here is an example, and we look about how the specified timing or duration of the expected return is not defined in earning per share. And Nick, the financial manager of Neptune Manufacturing, a producer of the marine engine components, is choosing between two investments, rotor and the valve. The following table shows EPS. Here is the example of the investments plan over the time period. If we invest in the rotor, they have a 1.4 dollar in first year cash inflow, $1 in second year, and 0.40 in third year. Total is 2.80. And if we look about the valve, that is 0.60 in first year, $1 in second year, 1.40 in third year. Total is 3.00. If we see on the end value, Valve is very good on the basis of earning per share because it is generating more as comparative to the rotor, because rotor is just generating 2.80. But with this company, there are some shortcomings. What are the shortcomings? In terms of profit maximization goal, Valve would be preferred over the rotor because it results in a higher total earning per share over the 3 year period. And but is profit maximization is a reasonable goal? No, it fails for number of reasons. Why? It ignores the timing of return. What are the timing of the return? If we look in rotor, 1.40 we are getting in 1 year, first year. And what is the benefit of getting high amount in first year? The benefit is that we can reinvest this amount, and when we will reinvest this high amount, like as comparative to the future which we get. So what is the benefit of this amount? This benefit is that we can reinvest this amount, and we can also generate a profit, also generate the return on this amount in the next year as well. But in rotor, in valve case, what is the problem with this? We are getting 0.60, a low amount as comparative to the rotor amount. So if we will reinvest this amount, it will not give return as like 1.40 that will give to us. So with if we look on the cash inflow, Valve that is giving 0.60 in first year, but it is giving 1.40 in last year, but rotor is giving the high amount in the first year. So valve is not attractive because there are less benefits of reinvestment. So this is not as attractive on the basis of cash inflow as rotor is attractive. So the timing of the returns, the timing of cash inflow is ignored in this goal of the firm. So that's why this is not more attractive. Cash flows available to stockholder, the time when the cash flows will be available to the stockholder, that is not clear in earning per share maximization goal and profit maximization goal. That's why this goal is not very attractive. Like when the dividend will be issued, that is not defined and decided in the profit maximization. What are the risks are associated? Because when you are interested to increase your profit, you just ignoring the risk. You are just increasing the volume of cash. That's why most of the decision you are just looking one perspective, and that is profit maximization. You are ignoring all other factors and all other risks. That's why most of the time your organization may be collapse, and in future your organization have not getting the growth. So that's why this goal have some limitation, and that is not attractive. What are the benefits, and why the goal of shareholder wealth maximization is common nowadays in industry trend? That is, it takes account of current and future profit and EPS. It consider what are the benefits of current profit and the future profit. And most of the time when the organization of this goal, they are interested in future profit. They are not more interested in current profit because they are looking the long term growth of the company. They are not just considering the current growth or looking focusing on the current assets. And this goal also consider the earning per share. Obviously, when you are looking in the profit, you are considering the profit. You will consider your earning per share. It also define what should be the timing of the cash inflows, how much we will get in first year, how much we will get in the last year. The timing of the cash inflows are clearly defined. and what should be the duration, and what is the duration of your expected returns in the future, and risk of the profits. Obviously, if risk is associated with the high profit and low profit. If you if you are interested to increase your current profit, obviously there are some risks also associated, because there is a common formula that is high risk, high return. But sometimes you are to just increasing your current assets, you will maybe collapse. So risk of profit, EPS, dividend policy is very important with the perspective of shareholder. So in this goal, you define clearly what should be the our dividend policy, after how many months, after how many years we will issue the dividend, because you are considering you are all stakeholder and stockholder as well. So you define clearly, and because you are not interested to hold the cash, you are just interested to make happy to your stakeholder and all other relevant factors as well. So that's why, because it is a more comprehensive and broad kind of goal. So, and it consider all financial indicators. So that's why this goal is more common and very attractive. So thank you so much to listening me, and take care.